The stage is Saddlebow Road, Kings Lynn, for top-class Speedway. 12 invited riders, 7 of them from Scandinavia, in a major individual competition for the Barnum Trophy. And Kings Lynn's Henke Gustafsson will certainly remember last year's competition. He was the outstanding rider and was leading the final in the last lap.
Well, it really has been a fascinating final, and oh dear me, just as we said, that Ermolenko's bike has given up the ghost. He's contributed so much to this final, but Gustafsson's bike stopped as well, right on the line, and that is positively theatrical. Well, you wouldn't have scripted that if you were Walt Disney.
So a Mickey Mouse finish for Gustafsson, and this year he's just recovering from a broken wrist.
My wrist is okay, but I hurt my finger and my back at the Arena Essex last Friday, so I'm not 100% okay, but I'm going to race anyway.
You're the local favourite here, everybody wants you to win. Have you got a chance?
Yeah, I think if my gating is right today, I have a chance to win.
Okay, a quick check on the riders. Leading the English challengers, Mark Loram, Kings Lynn's captain and formerly at Ipswich, and Gary Havelock, Speedway's man of the moment, British and overseas finals winner, and tipped as England's next world champion. Ray Morton is an English international who now rides for Reading, but began his career here at Kings Lynn. There's the experienced Bo Peterson, one half of the Danish. World Championship semi-finals. Tony Olsen is the Swedish 1989 world finalist, who is just about.
In his last place is another Swede who's having a much improved season with Kings Lynn.
Alan Rossiter is another experienced Kings Lynn rider,
and an England international too. Gary Allen is also with Kings Lynn. He's the current New Zealand champion. Michael Turnberg is the Swedish rider who looks like being without a club, now that Mildenhall seems certain to fold. But the main challenge is expected to come from Hans Nielsen, the Dane from Oxford, 3 times world champion, still considered to be the best rider in the world, but nationally eliminated from this World Championship qualifying. And Henke Gustafsson, Kings Lynn's exciting and very popular Swede, who had such wretched luck in the fun last year. So a contest between 12 outstanding individuals, producing another shock for him, and an amazing... All that came after a very laid-back start.
Obviously it's very difficult and very hard field today. My gating hasn't really been up to standard lately, and I haven't really time to think about it. It's my 7th meeting in 7 days now, so I'm a little bit...
So I need to have a good time and I think have a good go.
Okay, away we go, 15 heats, all the riders get 5 rides each, then the top 8 go into the 2 semi-finals, then 2 from each semi-final into the final.
The commentator is Dave Lang.
heat number 1 coming your way on a very dry, very warm afternoon. It should get a little dust yet there. The track has been immaculately prepared. The track here is conducive to racing, but conditions not far short of perfect here for heat 1. On the inside, Mark Moran.
Really red is skating. He's on the inside in red.
Next in Ray in blue.
Grid 3 has Michael Durenberg in white, and on the outside Gustafsson in yellow and black. 4 laps. 3 points for a win, 2 for a second, 1 for a third. Gustafsson has the drop around the outside. Gustafsson leads it. Second place is a rare battle going on there, and there's a level out. It's going to be Loram who moves in into 3rd place. It is Ray Morton and Turnberg at the back. Brave first corner from Gustafsson. And he certainly doesn't seem to have any problems with the right hands to the throttle. Machines, we remind...
More than 60 is still by 3 seconds.
They have... It's going to be a difficult task keeping that down here. It's a really warm afternoon, but the track...
On the inside in red on pole is Tony Olsen from Sweden. Next to him, another Swede, and he is resident here at Saddlebow Road. That's
And it's a match coming to the first corner, and it is Olsen who gets clear on the inside. Olsen leads it. Second place, putting through comes Carter. In third place, it is Dennis Lofquist with Rossiter at the back. And a
Smart to get away from Olsen,
and he leads heat 2. Carter beginning to get him into his sights now as they hit the bottom turn. Rushing up on the inside here, trying to force a hold on the side of Tony Olsen. Olsen's in it, shuts the gate. Just has the legs here, buzzing energetically around wheel now by the outside run. He might just have the drop, and he's just got around there. Great piece of overtaking. Olsen isn't finished, but now he won fancies. Olsen almost lost it on the line as Carter goes clear. Enterprising piece of speedway by the Dane, and Olsen in trouble. Slowing right up here, and it's going to allow battle on the line there. Lofquist gets the second place, third place, it was Rossiter, and Olsen seemed on there, not physically or mechanically, but he went from first to last and over a lap. And Brian Carter it is who takes the 3 points from heat 2.
2 races when it sees stuff, so I've got to change my...
So that was the problem with
Next season, did it?
Yeah, so I've got to get the other bike going now. And only one to go?
One of the great characters in contemporary speedway. Hans Nielsen, the great
Triple world champion, but sadly out of this year's title chase, one of the major surprises in world speedway in the last decade.
Well, certainly a shock to myself as well, probably anybody else, but I think it's a combination of things. I think I would exclude the fact that I changed bikes, because I felt very happy with the bikes this year. I'm still on top of the British League averages and the
and the day, so I don't think there's anything wrong with the bikes.
I think it was a combination of a very bad track. It's been raining all night. Okay, same for everybody, but I just happened to make some very bad starts in the day.
I did have 1 or 2 clutch problems, but
Also, for that, after the track got up badly, it was a bit hard on the shoulder.
And many people's idea of the next world champion, and on the outside of him, Hans Nielsen. So an interesting test being the world champion and the pretender to the throne as they go into heat number 3, and Neil gets a flyer from the outside. Havelock's gone with him in third place. It is Peterson as Allen comes through down the outside. Of his world championship hopes. Certainly Gary Havelock, who is no slouch, is making no impression on Nielsen. Still back in third place, it is Gary Allen. And Nielsen will be having his eyes on the trophy as he comes into the last lap, 342 metres around Saddleborough Road. And Nielsen has had very little trouble here in Heat 3. Still has a bit of a shoulder knock, but it's like a billiard table out there. Not wearing him. 3 points for Hans Nielsen, 2 for Havelock, 1 for Gary Allen.
So after 3 heats, quick check on the score. All the riders have been out once. Henke Gustafsson, Hans Nielsen and Brian Carter are leading the field as we move on to Heat 4, with all 4 riders here still looking for their first race win of the day.
Well, good stuff from Rossiter on the inside. Rossiter's way on the inside, attacking.
Third place, it is also say hits
The pits turn, first corner of lap number 2, and Lawrence looking very lively here. Rossiter will do well to hold out Mark Laram, and Laram moves up around the outside most purposely, and surely will have the line and the drop. Yes, he has. Perfect piece of overtake. Mark Moran just got Hoster in his sides, just opened the throttle, and now he's going for it. Allen has come through into third place, and Olsen, who had mechanical troubles first time out, changed his motor, but still is having a very unhappy afternoon. We're in the last lap of heat number 4. We've lost Tony Olsen, but it's Mark Moran.
Second place, it was a roster. Third place, Gary.
Mark, you said before the racing that you were having problems with the heating, and that was the case in that heat, I think.
Oh, that's a nightmare. I mean, it's not been as bad as this. Today, it's terrible. I think I put down is to change the tyres to give him quite.
In number 5, and can Brian Carger maintain his charge towards this trophy? He won his first race most impressively. Here he is in blue here.
In heat 5, again, first into Britain to ride for Swindon.
Rather surprisingly, was discarded by the Robins last year, and he moved to Arena Essex and transformed them into a championship winning side.
But only 3 contested this race eventually after Dennis Lofquist broke his saddle and couldn't get to the start line.
Peterson, Carger, and Morton across the line, and Carger, and once again is jet propelled out of the starts, and now can Morton get up around the outside of Bo Peterson, and Peterson is aware of him and moves across his racing line. Carger leads, Peterson second, third place Ray Morton.
And Brian Carger in the blue helmet went on to win this one from his Arena Essex teammate Bo Peterson. Brian Carger's second win of the day.
Well, we're coming into heat number 6, and it really is a bundle of dynamite, because we have 3 riders from whom we could confidently expect the winner overall to come. What a prospect it is. Inside Gustafsson, red, unbeaten so far in 1 race. Next to him, Alan Roster, who has scored in both his first 2 rides. Grid 3 has Hans Nielsen, a race winner first time out. On the outside, in yellow and black, the British and overseas champion Gary Nielsen from Gary Havelock from Bradford. He's in yellow and black. He's 6. And up to that first corner, it's going to be a tight one. And Nielsen it is, who just has the drop. Here comes Havelock around the outside. He's got around Gustafsson and setting after Nielsen, but Nielsen looks immaculate at the moment. Nielsen in front. Second place is Havelock.
Third place is Gustafsson.
And Havelock is a bonny battler, although Nielsen is riding as well.
On rails.
Third lap, and try though he might, Havelock is not making any impression on Hans Nielsen.
Third place still Gustafsson.
We wonder if this is a foretaste of the final. Certainly Nielsen hasn't made a single mistake, riding quite beautifully.
Well, he's taken off his 2 main rivals, and Nielsen takes the flag in heat 6.
Second place Havelock, third place Gustafsson.
7 now, Clement White still working on his start, and he faces Peterson, Olsenberg, truck points.
Little starts on the inside from Peterson. Having here. Taking him out. I think now, and Peterson in white and ducked and dived, and it isn't.
But in fact, it was all over. Mark Loran was the winner from Bo Peterson and Tony Olsen.
And there's a problem here, which the referee Lou Strip will surely put right. We have 2 riders in white, and that's simply not on. As we watch the solenoid there go free. And let's try and read this one for you, because we have 2 riders in white, and there's trouble there as down goes Allen and down goes Lofquist. A funny old first turn. It should never have been started with 2 riders in identical helmet colours.
Let's look at it again. can see the two riders in white.
But keep your eye on Lofquist on the inside and the rider from grid 3, and that is Gary Allen. You can see it's at the back here. Now what happens? Lofquist and Allen just overcooks it, and Allen goes down, and Lofquist
hardly got 5 miles an hour when they instantly dropped.
But clearly it's a nasty one. Lofquist must have knocked some. Allen, the rider in white, should be excluded.
Well, Dennis, what happened there?
No, the track is a bit slick and he locked up in front of me and I couldn't go nowhere. No room left.
But is the bike okay? You're all right?
Yeah, I'm a bit bruised, but it's no problem.
It's not really been your meeting so far with the problem with the seat and also that tumble. It can only get better.
No, it's not my day, maybe.
In fact, Gary Allen was excluded, leaving Lofquist, Gustafsson and Morton to contest the race of Heat 8.
This board machinery. Morton's moved into the front and Gustafsson's working very hard here, and Gustafsson has come from 3rd to 1st in 1 lap, and that really...
And the finishing over here, Henrik Gustafsson first, Dennis Lofquist second.
The two names, Hans Nielsen of Oxford,
Brian Carger of Arena Essex.
So Havelock on the inside, next to him Turnberg. Grid 3 has Nielsen on the outside, Brian Carter. Heat 9, 2 unbeaten riders and Gary Havelock. And up to that first corner, and Nielsen's got a flyer. Nielsen's away, second place it is Havelock. Hard around the outside comes Brian Carter, and Havelock unable to contain him, but Nielsen looked absolutely jet propelled. And the outside line definitely is the best one here at
King's Lynn this afternoon.
The track staff are doing well to keep the dust down. They're watering with the crop sprayer virtually in between each race. But wet or dry, Hans Nielsen looks to be the master. Remember, Carter in second place was unbeaten hitherto, but Nielsen... So still 3 races gone, Hans Nielsen unbeaten, Carter takes
Second place for the first time, and Gary Havelock.
well, he should do enough to qualify, but he's yet to show any of the form that won him the British title.
Well, Hans, halfway through, it's going quite well for you.
Yeah, I mustn't complain so far. As I mentioned before, I think there's nothing wrong with the go. I feel great and the track is good and I'm making good traps, so it's great.
The scores then after 9 heats.
They've all had 3 rides. Hans Nielsen, the only one on maximum points,
with Laram, Carger, Gustafsson, Havelock all well placed, but 4 riders will be eliminated, so there's pressure on the men in the bottom half of the table. Heads will roll after the break. Then, well, things have changed a bit in Speedway over the years. Spectators barely think these days as the action comes their way. In the old days, they'd have been covered in cinders. Well, back in the days when Barry Briggs, 3 times world champion, was the star attraction at the Furs track Norwich, with riders like Peter Craven tangling with Briggs, the bikes might not have been quite as powerful as modern day machines, but they certainly
American Speedway in California.
He's back in England at the moment, and was at King's Lynn talking serious shop with Henke Gustafsson.
Well, when I live in America, I'm back here, and then I stay with Cherry Betts, which is near Cambridge. Cherry rode here for many years, so that's why I'm really here today.
What do you think of Speedway these days?
It's very, very fast, and as you can see, it's a little bit difficult when you're behind, but I think they could do it.
And you're actively involved yourself in the States?
Yeah, we've built a Speedway bike instead of the engine being upright, it's laying down, so we're here today. Henke Gustafsson's riding it, and Mark Loram, so yeah, well, I've still got a strong interest in Speedway, although I'm not in England very often.
Well, the bike seems to be working for them. How different is it?
Oh, it's very different. There's a lot of different things. I rode it about 12 years ago in New Zealand. I got very badly hurt. The throttle stuck on it. So it's laid in a corner, so I've just pulled it out. It's a project.
And would you like to see one of the Kings Lynn boys win today, or can you see Hans Nielsen winning it?
Well, Hans is going very well, isn't he? But the final's one that counts, and I think Henrik is such an exciting ride, same as Mark from behind, but you let Hans have the start. They're going to have their work cut out, I think.
Okay, back to the Byron Trophy business. 6 heats left now to sort out the 8 riders who go through to the semi-finals, with Gary Allen in blue, 2/3 and an exclusion so far, now under a lot of pressure.
Well, it looks as though Carter's got away, and he has, and here comes Gustafsson brilliantly around the outside. Carter got off the inside once again. That's a graveyard at inside position. Gustafsson got the run, got the line. He leads heat 10. Third place it is Peterson now having a bit of a sniff at Brian Carter, and Gary Allen, desperate for points, has got to produce something very special to gain anything from heat number 10.
Henke Gustafsson won that one comfortably, with Brian Carter in second place, knowing they'd enough points now to qualify for the semi-finals already, but Peterson and Allen were now struggling.
Well, tactics come into it now. Will you be looking to maybe finish second or third in one race to get the right sort of draw in the semi-final?
No, I haven't think about that. Might have a look now.
And how about the hand? How about the engine? Are they holding up?
Yeah, it's good. It's just a little bit pain in my back, but it's the right now.
Coming into heat number 11, and here's Gary Havelock from Bradford, of course, the England skipper at number 1, and he's had 3 starts, and this is the first time he hasn't had Hans Nielsen in a race with him. It must feel like his birthday out there. Better than a handicap.
That is in grid 2.
So, will Havelock open his race when it came here, and that's the... Morton's away, coming around the outside. It is Olsen, and Olsen in front here, and he needed points. And here's a surprise, because bursting through on the inside, Alan Rotterdam, and Havelock is at the back and could well have to have his work cut out to get in there and qualify. He's battling back now, moving back up into line with Ray Morton, but it's Olsen around the outside, and Olsen, who had a disappointing afternoon, is now looking in line for the points which could qualify him, and Havelock is having to work terribly hard to try and peg back Ray Morton. There's the battle for second place, absolutely wheel to wheel. Havelock might just have the drop now as they go into the last lap, but the British champion not looking nearly as dynamic as he has in past weeks. Olsen will win heat number 11. Bit of a surprise, really. Havelock second, Morton is third after a really terrific battle.
You look as though you're a bit happier now than you were early part of the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I seized my bike in my first race and burnt my clutch in my second, so it's not a lot you can laugh about then, but it seems to be all right now.
No problem in that heat. Do you think you can make it through to the semis now?
No, I think they're going to be pretty hard, because if I win my last one, maybe a little chance, but
I don't know, it's just the way it goes.
And there's the Great Dane, whose start has looked very sharp today, it has to be said. Dennis Lofquist is in white, there he is, and although he's had some bangs and knocks, he's got 4 points and is looking as though he might just sneak qualification. And Mark Laram on the outside with a total of 8 points, should just be looking to consolidate and qualify.
He has some really big Scandinavian guns on the inside of him here
in Heat 12, although the outside has produced eminently the better line around the first 2 turns. Nielsen is away. Nielsen away, but Carter gets the inside line on him. Nielsen immediately swings out. Clever tactics.
Loram moving hard around the outside of Brian Carter. Carter is aware of him and tries to squeeze him out. It's getting a bit tight there. And Brian Carter is only just leaving Mark Loram.
Nielsen in front, he's going to be the man to beat here in the Barnum Trophy.
Interesting battle for second place. There is Nielsen. To go into the last lap, Mark Loram needs to find something just a little bit extra, and he might just have found it. Down the inside of Carter. Carter left a hole and goes down into the fence.
Well, Nielsen in second place is Loram. In third place it was
Lopez and Carter just drifted
down there. Let's put it again. One can hardly blame Mark Loram.
Here's the battle. You can see this is the pits turn, and Carter just drifted out too far. He left a gap down the inside, and Loram is through it like a whippet. Now, as they hit this corner, is there any contact? Is it unfair, or does Carter just gracefully bail out? Oh, I know what I think.
Well, Brian, what actually happened in that last heat?
Matt came underneath me on that last corner, and I had nowhere to go. So.
And the damage to your bike, could it put you out of the semi-finals now?
No, it'll be ready. It'll be ready.
Heat 13 then, 4 riders desperate for points: Michael Turnberg, Gary Allen, Bo Peterson and Alan Rossiter. And this produced a victory for Kings Lynn's New Zealander Gary Allen in the blue helmet, with Michael Turnberg of Mildenhall in red picking up
his first point in second place.
But it proved to be the end of the road for Bo Peterson and Alan Rossiter.
Coming into heat 14 and the last ride for each of the starters, and although many of the big names are short of qualification, it's getting a bit tight at the bottom end of the cut. And in heat 14 we have Ray Morton, there he is in blue, and Tony Olsen.
The inside has Nielsen in red.
Haven't had a winner from the inside. Should we say that about Nielsen? He might just break the mould. Him, Ray Morton leading points. Henke Gustafsson in white, and Tony Olsen on the outside. So there are the big guns battling at the top, and Ray Morton and Tony Olsen looking for points.
Stand the order.
Fast leg prospect. Nielsen hasn't really missed a start. Be interesting to see if Gustafsson can get at him around the outside here in heat 14. Under orders, referee Lou Stripp will let him release. Off they go. And Nielsen again has hit the start. Swings right out wide, anticipating the attack from Gustafsson, who switches down the inside and tries hard, but hasn't just got the power. Ambitious move by Gustafsson as Nielsen really just moved offline. Third place, it is Tony Olsen, Morton at the back. There's the battle up front, and at the back it is Olsen, and this point that Olsen is set for may prove critical to his qualification chances. And Ray Morton, we just got a glimpse of him there, could be going out of the Barnum Trophy. This is the last lap. Olsen has looked increasingly efficient as the meeting has gone on. And second place Gustafsson. Morton does a despondent wheelie at the back, but he must know his chances of qualification have probably gone now.
So coming into the last race of the
format, it is a funny old format this one, but here's as it stands right now. Dennis Lofquist here has 5 points, and there are what, 4 riders on 5 points.
So we could have to get slide rules
unless he can produce something from heat 15. He knows that he's got to bear some kind of reward from heat 15.
That's a flying start from Lofquist. Lofquist away. Havelock.
Tearing around the outside, exciting stuff there.
Their place is Laram, and at the back it's Turnberg. Well, Dennis Lofquist knew he had to pick up some points. It looks like he's intending to win, although he's got Havelock and Laram, two of England's young lions, breathing right down his exhaust pipe. They're all beginning to tighten up. Laram's not finished yet. He's back in third place. Into the last lap, and there's only a couple of lengths between the first three. Lofquist still leading, Havelock still second, Laram still third. Here comes Laram, one valiant final effort. I think he's going to have to be content with third place. Lofquist wins, that'll take him into the semis. Havelock is second, still hasn't won a race, and in
Third place, Mark Laram.
Well, Dennis at the start.
I bought a bike from Mark Loram for this meeting, and I wasn't used to
So Dennis Lofquist mixed into the semi-finals with that last
Win. Hans Nielsen, the only rider on maximum points, leading the main qualifiers. 3 riders ended on 5 points. Bo Peterson drops out though because he didn't win a race. Olsen and Allen squeeze in. Semi-finals and finals next with shocks in store. Finals and finals now of the Barnum Trophy, knockout in more ways than one. The race lineups, tremendous international talent, and 2 from each of these semi-finals go through to the 6-lap final. In the first semi-final, a Dane, a New Zealander and 2 Englishmen, and one of the Englishmen playing down his chances.
Realistically, I've got Hans, who's obviously a little bit exceptional today, and Gary Havelock and Gary Allen. So I'm just going to have to go out there and hopefully make a start, which I haven't done all day yet. And maybe it's my turn to make a start and pop out and give him a run. You never know.
So Mark Laram there, not looking too optimistic about his chances from grid 2 here in this first semi-final. He's got to make something of it. He's got Hans Nielsen on the inside of him in red, and
Nielsen has won a race out of the top position.
And Gary Havelock, we just pan back here, we'll see Gary Havelock in white. There he is, and he's in 3, which has been one of the more productive lanes. On the outside it is Gary Allen, and he might well be a spoiler here. It's going to be a mad dodge up to the first turn.
In most of his races
He'll swing on wide, and Havelock will attack down the outside. First semi-final, 2 to qualify. And it is a flying start, and it's Havelock that gets away. Havelock in front, second place is Nielsen, third place is Laram, and Laram goes... We are really down to the nitty-gritty now, and Gary Havelock, who's had 4 meetings with Nielsen, hasn't won one of them, but now he's showing the Triple X World Champion a very clean pair of... Well, this indeed is one of the charms if you are successful, and one of the debits if you're unsuccessful with that. Hans Nielsen hasn't really looked like being beaten right throughout the qualifying races. They're now 142 metres just left of King's Lynn, and it looks like he is not going to qualify the final, and that really is amazing.
I won't get his up to the chip, but it's necessary. He wins, Laram is second, and Nielsen. And you can see it is Havelock who gets away,
And it looks as though Nielsen is comfortably into second place, but he seems to get locked on the line and leaves room as he swings out there, and it's a good cornering from Mark Laram because he... Great Dane. Havelock is away, and Laram's going with him, and Nielsen could do nothing about it.
Well, Mark, you went too optimistic beforehand, but what can you say about that?
Yeah, I don't like to be too sort of confident, you know. Track was, though they watered it, was a bit greasy, and I'd made a reasonable start, which makes a change, and managed to sneak under him on the first turn.
managed to get through the final. I'm happy, you know, it just goes to show
How unlucky you can be. 15 points and then one bad race and he's out. That's the way it goes.
Well, it just seems to be my luck at the moment when it counts, but I just didn't. And so I just made a bad start. I couldn't, obviously with two good riders in front like Gary and Mark, it makes it hard to pass, so I couldn't do a thing about it. But obviously I think it's a little silly the way it's run, you know, you can win 5 races, and I was actually told before I came here that it was all the point that counted towards the semifinals and the final. But then they changed it today, and they changed their mind just to have the first 2 from the semifinals, and then it's all on the final, so obviously that's a bit of a disappointment about the tour.
On to the second semi-final now, and the lineup all Scandinavian. Gustafsson and Carter the favourites, Olsen and Lundqvist coming strong after slow starts.
Second semi-final, Gustafsson inside red, next to him blue card.
3 more twisted on outside Olsen yellow black.
Denmark versus Sweden. Who will go through into the final? Oh, Carter's made a terrific start. Carter, as we anticipated, made a terrific start. Gustafsson's going with him. And in third place, it is Lofqvist. Coming hard under him, it is Olsen for third place, but that's not going to be good enough. It's going to be the first 2 to go through, and it looks like it is going to be Carter and Gustafsson. Carter just got the break. He is very, very slippery out of the starts. It may well be that tactics are brought to play here, because Gustafsson is not making any real effort to get up on Carter. Now, he may have worked it out that if he stays in second place, it'll give him the outside grid at the start of the final. So he might just be playing it clever here. And Gary Havelock, who went through from the first semi-final, that gives him pole position, and that might be disadvantageous. Interesting tactics, no question, unless there's some disaster around the last 2 turns. Carter is going to win it. He goes through. Gustafsson comfortably cruised into second place. It's going to be quite a final.
How different is it competing over 6 laps?
It's not much different. If you miss the gate, you have a couple more laps to get past them. If you make the gate, they have a couple more laps to get past you, and otherwise it's not much different.
As I said, you know, most of it is on the start. I know Henke is good from the background. He's got quick bikes, and they've probably done the final over 6 laps because of him.
So into the final of the Barnum Trophy with a very, very attractive prize, the Speedway motor, worth a great deal of money, and they'll be going for it. Henrik Gustafsson there in yellow and black on the outside. What must be going through his mind? Almost exactly 20.
And he'll be just keeping his fingers crossed and listening to every beat of that motor
around these next 6 laps. Gary Havelock, well, he was getting his act together, did not very much during the meeting proper, but then really sparkled in his semi-final. He says there's only one racing line, he'll be anxious to hit it, although he is a specialist at long-form speedway. He sort of winds himself up, he grows in stature and stamina as the race unfolds. Don't discount him. Next to him in blue we have Brian Carter, fast starter. Has he the stamina to hold on for 6 laps? And then Mark Laram, suffering from flu. He's been a bit moaning and grizzling, but he's there in the final. If Gustafsson or Carter can get far enough clear early on, they might just hold on, but don't discount Havelock even if he's behind early on, because he does like this form of racing and he will keep trying right to the last checkered flag. The final over 6 laps and up to that first corner. And it is Havelock and it is Carter and Gustafsson going high around the outside there as they lower down, and it's getting very, very tight. It's Carter in front. Gustafsson is after him. In third place it's a battle between Laram and Havelock. Carter in front. They're on lap 2. Gustafsson's in second place. In third place it's Laram, and Havelock is at the back and beginning to lose touch, and that's a surprise. Now then, Gustafsson, as they begin to settle down, must weigh up the opposition. He has got Carter in front of him. Carter is riding a good line. As we've heard, there is only one real good racing line out there.
And it is the Scotians
who are showing the pace here. Well, Denmark have just rather rather surprising. Quality field and hold on to the Barnum Trophy at Speedway. And they're coming into the last lap. Now, and Gustafsson must make his effort, and he's making it now. And he'll dive down the inside, and here he comes, and he goes right the way through on the inside, but as he's here as they go into the last two corners. Now then, he's through there, but does Carter swing back? He knows he can't keep going. Gustafsson's drifted right off line. Carter on the inside has got his wheels back into line. It's a mad scramble to the finish line, and who's going to get it on the line? Well, it looked as though it might just have been Gustafsson. Who could say? The referee's got to sort them out.
Well, the referee was finding it difficult to split them. What about the two riders?
Well, here we go. It's the last lap. Talk us through it, Henrik.
Yeah, well, I thought it was my last chance. I went underneath him and he turned around outside and we can come back on the inside. I don't know.
And Brian, you seem to pick it up just on the finishing straight.
Well, all I could do was cut back on and try on the inside of him coming out. I don't know if I got it. I know it was very close.
It was very close. Now, you just watch this as you come over the finishing line. Could you beat yourselves?
Well, both of them had thought they'd won it before seeing our pictures. Now they're not so sure. I think it in fact is a dead heat, and so does the referee.
Well, after all the debate and discussion and slide rules, we've had a look at it several times here. Of course, the referee hasn't got that facility. The riders themselves can't separate themselves. We certainly couldn't on our picture. And the overall result is something unprecedented in World Speedway. We're going to have a two-man runoff to decide who takes the prize. Only 4 laps this time. Both riders have said their machinery is really hot after those 6 tumultuous laps there. So it's going to be a 4-lap runoff between Henrik Gustafsson and Brian Carter. Gustafsson has won the toss for starting position. He's going on the outside line. A moment of Speedway history, the first time we have had a dead heat declared in a major individual championship on television, and the two riders who were inseparable at the finish are coming out again. There is Brian Carter, he'll be on blue on the inside, and Henrik Gustafsson will be in yellow and black on the outside. So Carter is quick from the starts. Gustafsson is exciting and fearless around the first corner on the outside. And I think if Gustafsson does get around the outside, then it's good night Vienna. Anyway, here we go. 4 laps. 2-man match race for the race, and into the first corner, and Carter it is who's away. Carter gets clear. Gustafsson down the inside this time and picks him off. He left a hole, and Gustafsson, master tactician, made his move, and he's in front now, and I think he's going to take a fair bit of catching, although Carter, bless his heart, won't throw the towel in. The King's Lynn crowd here naturally on the side of their man. He's in front here. Just when we were anticipating his attack around the boards, he swung back down the inside, and Carter is still there in contact. Gustafsson's heart will be missing a beat because he was in this position last year.
Now he's just got to keep going, and he'll be home and hosed.
And it is Gustafsson after a sensational final who takes the prize in a 2-man runoff for the prize.
Up to fresh water, one wheel rush.
Swings back. It's a
Tigers 8 there and just slightly overcooked it. He leaves a gap and Gustafsson is through there quite beautifully, and after that really there was going to be no catching the Super Swede.
Henke, many congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
You got there in the end. How crucial was it to get to that first bend and get ahead then?
Oh, well, he was on the inside, and I thought if I miss the gate, he's going to move out to the outside. So I just got back underneath him. And if I make the gate, I go in and take his line. So, and he just got the gate from me and went on the outside, so I just went on the inside.
And does it make up for the disappointment of last year? Were you fearing it maybe even during that last lap that history could repeat itself?
No, it's nothing that you think about when you're racing. It's just racing when you're out. In fact.
Brian, you're still smiling and still chatting to each other at the end, but have you ever ridden in a race as close as that?
It was close, very close for a couple of laps, but then after 2 laps I tried the inside line in the third and fourth bend, and I lost a bit of ground, so I just couldn't catch him after that. But Speedway, you win some.
A friendly ending then to a frantic finish, with the Barnum Trophy going to Henke Gustafsson after a little piece of Speedway history. Next week, it's Hot Rods from Ipswich. From all of us, good night.